Good morning. Welcome to ETRAGE's Extending Your PLM Data Distribution to Third-Party Data Systems webinar. If you're interested in leveraging your product data management system more and moving away from emails or manually moving data from your PLM system, you've come to the right place. ETRAGE works towards breaking up siloed engineering information, and that is what this product does, as you will see. Everyone is muted, so we ask that you use the Q&A in the top right to ask questions, and at the end we'll get to those. Recording will be available on our YouTube channel as well if you have to cut out early. I'm Connor, and joining me today is Ephraim. We both bring over a decade of experience in the PTC and PLM space. Our shared focus as an organization is on understanding our clients' business challenges and delivering effective solutions. At ETRAGE, our focus is on driving continuous PLM adoption by addressing the needs of your system, your management, and your end users. Today's agenda looks at how ETRAGE can help you manage, share, and protect your company's intellectual property with our ETRAGE Publisher. ETRAGE is a global company with over 20 years of experience helping PLM adoption extend beyond engineering and into your entire enterprise. We understand that adoption isn't a one-time event, but is truly a strategic, ongoing process focused on continuous improvement and evolving over time. As a PTC technology partner, ETRAGE develops innovative software and service solutions, helping companies move towards a complete digital footprint and away from manual processes and siloed databases. And with that, Ephraim, I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Connor. Okay, so we know that in today's fast-paced manufacturing environment, design and engineering teams capture critical product information in sophisticated CAD systems and PLM repositories. However, the downstream teams, such as your machining, the shop floor operators, quality assurance and compliance, typically don't need to have full access to the native CAD environment. Instead, what they need is the accurate, up-to-date, and easy-to-use data formats that supports their specific workflows without requiring a specialized software or access to the PLM tool. So ETRAGE Publisher, which is the tool that we will be looking at today, addresses this need by automatically publishing tailored viewables files directly from your PLM system or any source system that you might have for that. So these are some of the examples of how it delivers value to different teams in the product development environment. So for the machining team, it will generate DXR files and other neutral 2D and 3D formats like STEP and IGES, which serves as precise, lightweight geometry exports, ideal for your CAM programming, things like the CNC setups and laser cutting, without exposing your full parametric model to this team. For the manufacturing shop floor, it produces the high-quality PDF tools that would normally include the flattened, dimensioned, as well as watermarked versions of engineering data that can be viewed from standard devices such as tablets or the shop floor terminals. This ensures that the operators on your shop floor have the latest revision-controlled drawings at their fingertips, reducing errors from them using outdated prints or manual files that are shared manually from the engineering department. Then for quality compliance and testing teams, it can publish structured quality-related information such as ballooned inspection drawings in PDF formats. So this output formats or output files supports the inspection planning and the regulatory compliance audits that they'll have to do time to time. So by automating this publishing processes, ETRAGE Publisher eliminates the manual bottleneck that we see a lot, where everyone that needs this information relies on one department, which is normally design or engineering department, or they're working with out-of-date data or getting this information from different data sources. So these are some of the key features that the tool provides. First one being automatic publishing. So it allows you to publish this information automatically from your PLM system based on certain events in the PLM system. And it can also generate data on demand. So if I'm someone who needs to review something before it goes into prototype or released for production, I can quickly use this on-demand functionality as a reviewer to export out a PDF, quickly download the PDF copy and review that. Or you can use it, or it also supports the batch mode, where you could have a transmittal with a list of drawings that you need to export out of the system and send out to your supplier or vendor. So you can use that batch mode to quickly export out that batch or a number of drawings out of the system at once. In the formats, the 2D formats such as DXF or image formats, and the 3D formats such as STEP or IGES for machining departments. And the system itself is very scalable or highly scalable, in the sense that if you need to add additional add-ons onto the system, you can do that. Or if you need to downsize in terms of the add-ons that you're using, the system allows you to do that with ease. And it also have add-ons such as watermark that makes it easy to communicate data downstream. And then eventually it integrates with the distribution destination tools where the data from PLM or the source will be flowing into for downstream access. And we'll talk more about those destination tools in the next slide. Right. So here is how the core architecture works. The ETRAGE Publisher core architecture works. The starting point will be on the far left here. Normally being your PLM system, or what we would normally call the source of truth, or any place where your master CAD models, drawings, or assemblies or metadata will live. So in terms of the supported platforms here, PTC Windchill and Siemens Teamcenter are supported. But for companies that do not have the PLM tools, if they have a data that's sitting in a network or local drive, that can also be used as the source of data to publish to the downstream viewer systems. So ETRAGE Publisher integrates directly as an add-on also on your PLM system, Windchill in this case, and is triggered by events like check-in. So if new data is introduced into the system, you can generate some neutral formats out of that data at that point, or it's been checked in after being modified, or if it changes the life cycle, it goes from maybe design to prototype, or from design to released or production. It can then generate this exports, or it can also be triggered based on the revision change. So if we're making a change and it goes to production change, you might want to mark those downstream PDFs that this is now on the production change, so that they know they can't use it at that point. Then the core publishing engine, which is on 2A here, it is the actual ETRAGE Publisher tool. This tool automatically generates the lightweight, secured viewable files or neutral files from the native CAD data. So be it SolidWorks, Creo, or Inventor, it can generate those neutral formats and automatically out of those files. So common outputs include PDF for drawing and documents, DXF steps or IGES for 3D geometry. Plus, it also supports the MS Office files, images, or the text files as well. The system can also extract, usable or needed metadata from the files from your PLM and push those into your downstream tool or your viewer tool. These are metadata such as the part number, the revision, the description, properties such as material or mass. So this step simply eliminates the manual export tasks normally done by engineering team to supply the other departments, and ensures that everyone gets the latest approved versions without needing expensive CAD license to be able to get this information. And to your far right is the destinations or distribution destinations that publisher, our ETRAGE Publisher integrates with. First one being the ETRAGE Viewer, which is a fast web-based search and viewing portal. So users can, in this system, users can quickly search, preview, print, or download files securely without needing a CAD software at all. And it automates the upload of PDFs and viewables directly to the SharePoint libraries. A lot of companies already have SharePoint and using it. And so this sort of helps with leveraging that existing collaboration platform for broader document sharing, versioning, and permissions. The data can also be automatically exported to the shared folders or drives, which is normally a perfect setting for legacy processes or offline access. Can also create BOM exports with metadata for ERP consumption. This is data to support the downstream processes like your manufacturing planning, costing, and so on. And it also has a direct integration that connects Windchill published data to FISNA. And FISNA is basically a leading 3D geometry search and comparison platform. So this tool enables advanced shape-based searches and can also help with detection of duplicates in your system and also for supply chain optimization using the 3D models. So when it comes to functionalities compared to other publishing tools, we know that there are many other publishing tools out there, but there are things that set us apart from those publishing tools. Table here highlights some of those features. ETRAGE Publisher support multiple CAD applications. It also generates data that is ready for ERP consumption. So it can be used as a PLM to ERP integration, and we have some of the customers that are using it for that purpose. It also generates engineering processes such as engineering change notice for downstream team to be able to see where the changes in the process from our viewer tool, making the CAD changes information available corporate-wide. Lastly, I want to highlight that the tool is highly customizable in what it can do. So all your company requirements in generating this information will be handled. So I'm going to just take you through the demonstration just to show you or to explain to you the features of the tool and what it can do. So firstly, I'm going to show you how it is configured or integrated with Windchill, which is our source of truth in this case. And then next, I will take you through the configuration of the publisher itself, and then we'll start publishing data to see how this works. So from Windchill itself, there is an add-on that we install as part of Windchill or on the Windchill server. And then on the Windchill browser UI here, it will then add the ETRAGE extension to it. And then on the utilities of this ETRAGE add-on, this is where you'd go in and configure how you want, Windchill to be triggered based on certain events to be able to generate this data. So I'll start off with the actions administration here. So the action administration would simply give you a list of actions that you can do with the data in the system. So I have a couple of those selected here, things like PDF export, PDF export to MS Excel. So if you need additional function that does something, that has to do something with the data in the system, that action will be part of the sections here. So there's a whole list of actions we have, and I've set up some of those. And then in all these actions, I will then basically go in and configure how I want this data to be generated. So things like the name that it has to, create this export with, and also where in my system it should, save this file. So yeah, you do that for all of these actions here. And the next thing that you do is the event triggers. So with Windchill, we have 3 triggers, as I've mentioned. It is the life cycle, when the life cycle changes of the object, or if there's a revision change, or the check-in. So if you wanted to generate an output PDF every time you check in, you then configure this event for that. So the one that's mostly used is the life cycle. And then if I go to the event configuration here, you'll see it also lists all the states that you have in Windchill. So all the states that are in Windchill at the moment will then be populated on this table, and then I can go and select whatever state I need to configure this trigger for. So in this case, I have released set for this. So I then go into this released, and then for every object, I'll then go in and map the actions for it. For instance, if I'm looking at a drawing, I want to export out a PDF for that drawing. I might also want to watermark that drawing as well. But for something like an assembly or a CAD, I want to get an IGES file out of that, or a step file out of that. Same applies to the other objects. So for Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, we'll then go and say I want to be able to export the PDF for Excel, or I want to create a watermarked PDF for that Excel. So that's how you go in and configure those. And these are configured for only when that particular object is released. Then it will kick off and generate those files for you. And then under request administration here, this is where it basically lists the jobs or the queues that are going to publish, or that have published. So they're all systems requests, the requests that are coming through based on the events that we've set at the top here. And the all user requests are the requests that are done using the on-demand, which I'll show as we start with the demo. So yeah, so those are the configuration on the Windchill side that you'd set. And then on the publisher side, ETRAGE Publisher side, this is what I'm going to show you now. So this is the tool that will be running. I'm running it in the foreground at the moment to just show you those settings, but this is something that can also be run as a service, so that when the server restarts, the service starts automatically and can monitor the Windchill jobs or the source jobs. So the first button of the configuration, this is where I can set my publisher to start monitoring automatically at a specific interval. So I can go and set to say, okay, it must go in and monitor my system every minute, and I start monitoring on this. Start monitoring on that, and I will see at the bottom there it tells me, okay, so I've checked, there's nothing at the moment. Check the system, there's nothing. The next check will be at this time. So every minute you'll go in and check for available queue, jobs in the queue. And the second one is it's just, where you set the Windchill environment that we're monitoring. You do that by specifying the URL to that Windchill environment and the account that the publisher should authenticate with to get into the Windchill environment. And then you get the processing options. So with the processing options here, you have two modes: the Windchill monitoring, which is the one that I've just shown you now, where we automatically monitoring the jobs coming from Windchill. And then there's a standalone monitoring here, where I can monitor based on a couple of things. I can monitor it's a standalone from Windchill, but at the bottom here, I'll either specify the model that I'm trying to publish from Windchill, and that could be from a list where it's an Excel list in an Excel file, or it could be based on a file that's coming from a directory, or it could be based on the list that will contain the models in Windchill. So yeah, this one will be set for Windchill monitoring, and it's monitoring two things: the system or the event mode, and also the on-demand that will be manually generated by a user in a system, and the one based on an event that we have set. And then for a Creo file, I'll then go and say for Creo, I'm looking for PDF files and the metadata, or it could be a step that I want to generate out for a drawing as well. And for assembly and parts, these are the options that I have, or that I've picked that I want to export out. And you can do the same for other tools like SolidWorks, AutoCAD, and so on. For documents as well, I've done the same for Microsoft Office documents. I'm publishing those to PDF. And then once I've configured, what output I need for Creo, I can then go into that Creo function and set what do I need to do as far as PDF goes. So for PDF, this is where I want it to publish to. This is what the name should be, and I can do additional things like what sheets to publish. If my drawing has got multiple sheets, but I'm only interested in the first sheet, I can set it to that, or I can also set a range of sheets that I want to publish. And then the other function here is I can also say this PDF that I've now generated, I can save that as an attachment back into Windchill against this particular drawing. Or I can alternatively just upload this as a document, a PDF document in Windchill, in a specific Windchill folder. I can go in and specify what lifecycle should come through as, what folder, and then subtypes of the document if I wanna wanna set it at that level as well. So then the other things would be on the document exports here. I can do the same with the documents as well. Will be the name where it should save these documents from this Excel files. I can do that with all the other types and the CAD types. And the other function is the post processing here. We talked about the add-ons that we have on Windchill. So this gives you the add-on functions plus the integrations with those downstream viewers. Things like PDF watermarking, which is very popular. So I can go and set a PDF. I can set it based on a specific authoring application. So be it maybe a Word document or a Creo document, even the lifecycle as well. So I can go and specify a lifecycle for this. So in this point, I've configured to just publish everything in any state that we publish in. And then on the configuration side, I'm just going to stop the monitoring of this. So then on the configuration side of the watermark, this is the options that I have. So you can actually do any settings as far as the watermark goes. So I can go and say, I just want to put a text based maybe on the daytime stamp for today, including a specific text that goes with it. Or I can go and customize this like I did here. So I've customized this based on a macro that we pull in from the metadata in our PLM environment. So in this case, we're using the life cycle for it. So it'll make a watermark of a life cycle. The part is at. So in our case, it will be a released because we configured it only for released. Then I can set like fonts, the font size of that particular watermark, opacity for that. So it should be transparent or not, and the positioning as well. In this case, we're starting our watermark from the bottom left corner, and then we also have set the angle that it should assume. So in this case, it will run diagonally on the PDF output. So yeah, you don't have any limit in terms of what you can do. So things like images, you might have an image that you want to add as part of the watermark. The system allows you to do that. So in this case, we've just configured it for the life cycle. And then at the bottom here, we have the integration to the viewer tools. First one being our ETRAGE viewer. So basically specify the URL to that viewer and then the authentication details of the system that the system will use to log into the viewer. And then once the file is successfully published, it will then be pushed to that viewer. Same with the FISNA integration that we talked about. That can be configured to push to that once it's published. SharePoint as well. So at some stage today, I will show you the SharePoint functionality where it pushes to SharePoint. All right, so now let's go ahead and release some files in Windchill and start seeing how the system works. So I'm gonna just browse to a folder where I can find the drawings. So I'm looking for a drawing in here. So yeah, this is the one drawing that we have that's currently in the InDesign state. So I'm gonna go ahead and just release this drawing. So I'll release this drawing, including its related CAD. So once that's done, just before I start the processing of these jobs, I just want to show you that in the system queue or system requested queue, I have some of the jobs that ran earlier that were successful. That's why they are marked as finished. And then for these two, you'll see that they are in a not started state because they're still waiting for PSW or publisher or ETRAGE Publisher to process them. So if I go back in here, I'll just go ahead and start my monitoring. And then you'll see on the report or the status of the jobs here, it shows us that it has picked up a part and it started now processing this part. So what is happening in the background is basically opening this part in Creo parametric, exporting out the files that it needs. And then once those files are exported, it will then close out the Creo system and then generate those output files and save them in a specific location. So it's done for the part. It is now processing the drawing, so it's doing the same. It's following the same process to generate the drawing as well. So it'll take some few seconds here to process that and publish them. And you'll also notice as soon as it's finished with the processing of those files, it is it will not tell you when next it will run, or what will be the next session to run. So if we go to this output folder, which is the clear output folder here, you will see this is the two files that we've created, a PDF drawing, which will be watermarked with the state of the drawing. And the other thing will be the IGES and the step file for that poll 1020 part. So that is the one mode where you basically, monitoring the Windchill for that. Then the second mode in this would be the on-demand, where I am now on my Windchill system here, and I want to quickly generate a PDF output of this drawing. So from this drawing drop down here, I can basically go in and say, just export the PDF file of this, and I can go in and specify a path where I would want this to save the file on my system. So I'll pick that as a path. Select the file and then let it process. So this job, because it was started by a user, not a system, it will now the user request in here. So this is the old request that had finished, and this is the new one that hasn't started yet. So this would go under the user request, and then if I go ahead and just start the monitoring on here, it will then generate that PDF file and save it in that location that I've just shown you. So same principle apply here. It opens the file again in the CAD application, processes it, and then generate the output file. And if I go now to my folder, I go to my folder, that file is now generated. And if I just open it up, you'll see it's generated, and then the watermark is also applied to it as well. That is the second way of generating the information. The third one, just before I go to the third mode, I wanted to show you something on here is because we have configured the publisher to also push back that PDF as an attachment in here. It has created that PDF file as an attachment against that drawing in here. Okay, then the last mode of publishing would be the badge. So for the badge, I will just open another shortcut of this PSW on here. And then if we go to the processing mode, you'll see it's on the standalone mode. As I said, you can specify, a drawing part number that you want to quickly publish if you only looking to publish just one file. But if you want to publish multiple files, you can have a file such as a CSV file that will list all the files that you want to publish, and you use that to publish. And I just want to quickly show you that file, how it looks. This is the CSV file. We're simply publishing the two drawings in a CAD file. There is the number and the revision that we want to publish, or the version that we want to publish of this file. So those are the three files that we will process using the bulk or the batch mode. But before I start with that as well, I'm going to show you the other thing that I'm doing as part of that batch publishing is those drawings. I'm publishing them, those two drawings, I'm publishing them into SharePoint as well. So I've configured SharePoint on here, which I'll show you just now. So I'm publishing them in here as well with the state as the metadata attribute and the version for them as well. So if I go to post-processing and I go to my SharePoint, you'll see that my SharePoint is configured to run here, and I've given information about my SharePoint system, where it will save these files, under which library in there, which site, and then these are my details to be able to authenticate publisher with SharePoint in this case. So then I'll go ahead and start my batch mode, and like I said, the standard the standalone mode, you always start it from the bottom here, the start button at the bottom here, and you'll see now it goes through the same process of publishing again, but now that publishing list it is based on these 3 files, and what it also does to this bulk file is it adds the comments at the beginning to show that this has been processed. And if there is any errors during the processing of any of those files, it will attach that as part of this bulk files, or it will append it in this CSV files as part of that. So the first file has been generated, and then it's now uploading that to SharePoint. So the first file is now uploaded. If I quickly go back to my SharePoint folder and refresh, that is our new file that's just been added just now. It's in the release state. That is the version it came through with. Same would happen with the next files. Go through that process, and then the file will also be added to our SharePoint system. And these files are also added to those network folders in case you want to share them with the other teams through the network folders. That is all I wanted to share as far as the demonstration on the ETRAGE Publisher goes. I just wanted to add that, I mean, the setting up of the publisher and the configuration on the Windchill environment is very quick setup to make. As long as the customer provides us with the correct requirements, we're able to quick and easily configure and build the publisher to work to those requirements. Very easy to upgrade as well. Very easy to customize if the customization is needed. So with that, I'm going to switch back to presentation here and throw it back to Connor to check if we have any questions that have come through. So I'll just go to the next slide, Connor, and I'll let you carry on.
Yep. All right. So our upcoming events, we have a Creo cabling webinar coming up here at the end of February. I'm looking forward very much to our April introduction to Creo Parametric class. I know we have a number of students that are already signed up for that. So if you're interested, please reach out. You can take that virtually or in person.
Connor, I can hear you now. Don't know if there's any questions that came through.
Yes, we did actually get a couple questions. So let me read the first one here. We currently use AutoCAD and SolidWorks. Would we need to have 2 publisher systems for each CAD application?
No. No. You only need one publisher running. As you've seen when I was showing you the publisher, there is a way in that one publisher instance to be able to configure different CAD applications in there. So you wouldn't need a separate server or system for AutoCAD and one for SolidWorks. It can be configured in one.
Awesome. Thanks, Ephraim. Next question. Do we have to license every user who publishes data? I can answer this one. Our publisher works as a site license. So there's an initial cost for your first location. And then if you wanted to use it at additional locations, that's an option that we would work with you with. But yes, so there's a site-based licensing for our publisher. And then looks like one last question. Is there any limitations on what can be added to the water marking?
No, there's no limitations at all. I mean, as I've shown, you can add text, you can add, images even on that. And if there's something that the current watermark settings or configurations doesn't cover, I mean, we're able to customize the tool to do exactly what you want it to do. So there's that room for customizing it to do exactly what you want if it is not part of the default watermarking functionalities. But no, there's no limitations at all on what you can add in the watermarking.
Okay. Yeah, no, thank you. We did get one more question as you were answering that. So this one is, our company has wanted to push information from Windchill into our ERP for years. We've been told that we should expect it to take 18 plus months. If we have experts in-house for our ERP, are you able to help? Typically, how long does an implementation to get information into an ERP take with your solution?
Okay, so at the current moment, we have the BOM export functionality that would basically just get in your BOM structure as is, and its changes into that ERP system. Obviously, the requirements customer to customer will differ, but if we do meet with you and understand your requirements, we would be able to help with that. Obviously, the time it takes will also depends on the requirements, but we're fairly quick in creating those customizations. So yes.
All right, thank you. I think we can move to the next slide. All right, so after our webinars, a lot of people want to know what next steps are. Following today's session, our ETRAGE team will be reaching out to see if you'd like to set up a complimentary trial of the ETRAGE Publisher and test it with your own data. So keep your phones on. I will be reaching out shortly. And on the screen here, you'll see some of our other applications. All of these have been developed based on customer feedback and requests. So a lot of these are unique solutions that at least a number of other companies are running into with their Windchill systems. We have webinars on most of these on our YouTube channel. So if anything's piquing your interest, feel free to bring that up when we reach out or to go over to YouTube and take a look. With that, I want to pass along our contact information. I look forward to speaking with you soon, and please join us again for future webinars.